Question for you. How much does your audience actually know what you do? Comment down below on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being they absolutely have no idea that I decided to become a coach, or 10, everybody on my social media know that I am a coach and I am a business owner. Comment down below 1 to 10. Where are you on that process? How much does your audience know about what you do? So we all know social media has this weird algorithm, right? Some of your posts may get seen, some of your posts may not. And even with this live, not everybody is getting the notification, but that's okay. The more that you post, obviously, the increases the chance of your post getting found. And that's the reason why we post. So typically, I would suggest my client to post at least 3 times a week in order for your post to actually get picked up by the algorithm. If you just post once a week, then somebody might be busy, they come back and they completely forgot that you posted. And that makes perfect sense why nobody is watching and paying attention to your post, because you're not posting it frequently enough. So if you want to get noticed, start posting 3 times a week, and that would be your minimum. Now, if I were to go to your social media, would I know that you are a coach? Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know that you're a coach. Would I know who you help? Maybe I don't. Would I know how to work with you or hire you? Maybe not. So you might be sitting there and thinking, how much does my audience know about me? Not that much. And I'm keeping it that way. Maybe you're working a full-time job. Maybe your coworker or family don't know about your business yet, and some of the stories that you wanted to share, you've been wanting to share, you just really can't share it. If that is you, my friend, this episode is for you, because I'm going to show you, actually, there are 3 places that you can be if you are someone who cannot doing this visibility out in the open, and you're just simply not in a position to actually shout it out from the rooftop. Today we're going to talk about, number 1 is how to start building your visibility even when you are trying to keep it low key. So maybe your boss doesn't know about it, maybe your work doesn't know about it, or maybe your family member, someone who's a judgy juggerson in your family, in your relative, you don't want them to know about it. And how do you attract the client quietly and strategically that still feels aligned with where you are now? Okay, I always like to start with a story time. So here's a story. When I first started my coaching business, I was working a full-time job, which I still do. So those of you who don't know me much, I'm Michelle, and I am a visibility marketing coach, and I work with female coaches to help them to build a profitable coaching business by establishing their authority, making sure that your message is clear, and helping you to position yourself as the expert so that you can actually let your content, your social media, your online presence doing most of the selling for you, instead of you hopping on every discovery call and sell to your potential client. Because that, to me, chasing one-on-one is a little too much, especially if you have a busy life where you're a working mom and you have a life outside of social. Then you probably don't want to feel glued to the social. And there is a better way, and I teach that better way. So the reason why I stay in a full-time job, so I have a full-time job as a clinical pharmacist, I chose to stay in that field because sometimes I use that as my escape route when I need a break from coaching world. And sometimes working in a pharmacy or working somewhere else, it actually gave me the opportunity to stay connected to the world that's outside of coaching. This is something that I've always encouraged my clients to do, is that when you are in the coaching world, you hang out with too many coaches, right? Everywhere that you go is probably in another coach who understand the language that you're using. And so if you hang out with these coaches too much, you end up losing the ability, you lose the touch with the real world and the language that your dream clients would actually be using. And this is why a lot of coaches are struggling to articulate using the word that their potential audience would be using, because you're hanging out with the coaching world too much. So how do you get outside a bubble? It's something that I always encourage my clients and all the other coaches that I encounter. If you need to learn how to articulate the language, how to articulate something to your everyday people, then you need to find a way to get yourself out of that coaching world so that you can work with more potential real clients who are describing their situation using their own words. But this is something that we're actually going to talk about during the next week's visibility challenge. And if you did not register already, you should be. You should, especially if you've been struggling with coming up with how to talk to your audience and getting them to see the value of why they should be hiring you. We're going to start next Monday on June 9th at 9 o'clock Pacific time. So I already put out the event notification here inside the group. You can go and RSVP so that they'll send you a reminder when I go live. But you definitely want to grab a spot by going to visibilityforcoaches.com. Why? Because I'm actually giving away my worksheet during the challenge. And the only way that you're going to get those worksheets and being able to download them is if you go to the website and signed up at visibilityforcoaches.com. Every day at 7 a.m., I'm going to give you a worksheet for that day. So after our training together, you have the rest of the day to work on the exercise that I have given you to get that clarity, to narrow down your niche, and having that clarity to your messaging. So you definitely want to sign up if you have not already done so. Okay, back to my story. So I was working full-time when I started this coaching business, and I'm still working full-time. At the starting point, I was really terrified. I was terrified that my boss from my job would see my post. I actually got myself in trouble because of this. I got called into the HR for something that I had posted on my personal Facebook profile. And back then it was a private profile. It wasn't like a public profile like you know me now. So if you go to Coach Michelle Quay, you'll be able to see all my posts. Keep all my posts public on my personal profile. So do connect with me on my personal. And so it was a private profile. Nobody else could see it. But then I got called into the HR for something that I posted on my personal Facebook. And back then it was 200 followers and friends. And mostly they were my friends and family who are only them, they're able to see my post. So the lesson learned here from HR is that I didn't want my coworker to start asking questions, and I didn't want to talk about what I do once I am on the clock. Comment down below, drop me an emoji if you feel the same. Like maybe you are working in a full-time job and you cannot openly share that the fact that you're actually building this as a side hustle. Hopefully the side hustle will turn into a full-time coaching business if all the ducks get in the row, which is totally possible, by the way. I'm doing it, I've done it, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So I did what most of you probably would be doing right now. I started a second profile for my business on Instagram. So I have a personal Instagram that I connect with. I used to connect with my coworker, my friends and colleagues. And then I have a second Instagram profile, which is at Elevate Life Coach. If you go to that account, that's my official Michelle Quay account now. So I started to have two different Instagram accounts. Later, we'll talk about how do you streamline to just one. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Right? Essentially, it's going to be a lot for you to manage both, right? And you'll probably find yourself, if coaching business is really important to you, then you'll probably notice that you're going to spend most of your time working on your business account anyway. And so essentially what you do, oh, I think I just closed my live stream. Crap. Did I close my live stream? I hope I didn't. I hope I didn't. Wait, did I? Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Oh no, I think we're good. Okay, so I closed the window and then all of a sudden I'm like all freaking out. Did I just close? close the live stream. But luckily, okay, good. I still have the still streaming. All right. So then essentially down the line, you're going to find that there's a lot of work to managing two accounts. So it comes to a point where you're probably going to need to decide which account you want to keep, right? And I'm going to guess that building a full-time coaching business is important to you. And that would be the point where you start to decide which account you want to keep. And so for me, I decided to keep my business account because building my coaching business is important to me. So I only have the business account now on Instagram to manage. So that's what I did. I started a second account on Instagram just for my business so that I can stay hidden from my boss so that I don't get called into the HR ever again. I started posting on Instagram. It's 7 years now. So if you scroll all the way back, I posted every single day, and all the posts that will keep me feeling safe. What are some of the posts that keeps you feeling safe? You're posting about the mindset. You're posting about just how great coaching is, but it's really vague. Anybody can post that. You go to Google, you can probably pull up all these different kinds of posts, inspirational, motivational, you name it, right? It's very vague. So when your message is vague, you're probably not going to attract your boss. Obviously, you're not going to be found by your employer, but at the same time, you're also not attracting the clients that you want to attract. Instead, you're attracting a lot of confusion. So people jump onto your discovery call and they're not really committed, or it's those who are just want freebie. They don't really want to buy your program. It gets really frustrating because then you're trying to build your side hustle and turning into a full-time coaching business, but you're spending so much time just posting with seeing no result. So that first year, I was struggling. So today I'm going to show you what changed and what worked. Here are the 3 places that I would be and I would spend more energy on if you are someone who you have to keep your coaching business right now in a hush mode. Okay, you cannot being on social all the time. You cannot do the reels. You cannot do a lot of things. So how do you build your coaching business like in the hush mode? First of all, you don't need to post on your personal profile, right? You can always start a secondary account or start a business account. I will say though, on Facebook and also on LinkedIn, when you start a business account or business page, those pages typically have lower engagement traditionally, and it's always been that way, right? So a lot of time, what I'll encourage you to do is to use and leverage your personal profile. Here's the tricky part. Because it's a free social media platform, in other words, you can have as many accounts as you want as long as you have a different email. So would you be able to use your business email to start another personal profile? Probably. Right? That would be a tip for you. You can probably start another personal profile using your business email, and that would still be under the cover, right? Now, how do you deal with the face? You need to put a face, you need to put your name on it. Here, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But you could start a secondary account or on Instagram, on LinkedIn, but I would encourage you to stay away from the business page on LinkedIn and also Facebook because they're just not getting a lot of traction and a lot of engagement. And when you're first starting out, you do want that engagement, like the friends and family support or people who know you, who can celebrate you. You do want that support because it helps to eliminate some of the inner critic that we have from time to time. Okay, so when you have like conversation with your friends and your family, it actually helps to eliminate some of the self-doubt that might creeps up. So you do want to have some engagement, whether it's from your friends or family, close friend, close relative who know and you can share the information with. The other place that you can do is you can start a private Facebook group that nobody knows about, okay, besides you. So that would be another option because unless you invite your friends and family into your Facebook group, then they wouldn't know that you have a Facebook group, right? It'll be a private community that you host on Facebook for free, and that you can invite your clients, your ideal clients, or your audience, the audience that you would like to work with, invite those people into your private Facebook group. And that doesn't need to be public. You don't need to announce that unless you want to, right? Unless you're ready to, but you don't have to announce that. So that's another place that I would go to. And then there's the third place I would go to is if you're someone who has a busy schedule and you really don't like social media, one of the places that you could do is you can start an email list. And I would highly recommend and suggest that you start an email list early. And this is something that I regret that I did not start early and that I had to do a lot of catch up later on in order to build my email community. So if you're starting early, I'm sharing this with you because I want you to start early. And so what you would do is you would come up with some type of resource for your audience that you would like to serve and start building that email list right off the bat. Now, alternatively, nowadays you can actually start a Substack account. I did check out Substack, and because this is a question that came up during my coaching call with my clients. And so Substack would be an alternative that you can use. It's gated, right? So you can create a gate wall to only invite certain individual or group of people who you would like to connect with them, invite them into your Substack community. So that would be a great place if you like to write blog, newsletter. That would be a great place that you can invite only the best or the right audience to subscribe to your Substack or join your Substack. So that would be the third place, email or Substack. Either way, you're going to have to type and write, right? So if you enjoy writing and having conversation, or somewhat introverted like me, I don't mind reading at all. Like even email that's long, I don't mind reading at all. I actually enjoy reading them. So that would be another place that you can do this. You can build your coaching business without telling everybody, without telling the entire world. And then the last bonus place that you can start building your visibility is actually signing up and showing up into groups. Some of the Facebook group, Facebook community, there's other community, maybe it's an in-person community that you belong to. Go to where your ideal client will be hanging out, right? It doesn't need to happen all the time in your personal profile. It can actually happen in elsewhere where you're visible, and only the people who's in that group would know that you're actually there, and you don't have to tell your family and friends about it. So show up to places where your ideal clients would be hanging out. That would be another tip for you if you want to keep it hush. So the tip and the suggestion that I have for you, or the advice that I have you, is that you don't have to go from hiding to, oh my God, I'm launching a coaching business overnight. That would be the goal, right? I would love for you to go out there and be that coach that everyone is talking about, and people are going, oh my God, I need to work with you. And you can proudly stand up and say, I launched my coaching business, I'm a coach. And I would love for you to do that. And I do believe you have the ability and you're capable and you have the potential in reaching to that point. But you don't have to start from, oh, today I'm hiding and tomorrow I'm all that. We take small steps, and that's what building visibility and building authority, building the trust, it's all about. So you start by nurturing, by connecting with people who you like to connect with already, right? Whether it's in your private message, maybe it's WhatsApp. I know a lot of coaches use Telegram. I tried Telegram. I didn't like it. It's just too confusing for me. And in order to use the Telegram, another person needs to have the Telegram. It's just too much hassle. So I like Facebook because it's accessible. It's free for everyone. So it doesn't, everybody have been on it. People know how to use it. There's learning curve is just not that high. So I love staying in the Facebook. You can also, so another place to look at is to being being on podcast, right? Smaller groups or summits, do speaking. That's another place that you can build your visibility, and you don't have to tell your friends and family about it. You just have to gather your courage, which I do help coaches creating their signature talk. So if that's you, feel free to send me a DM. That's talk. But that would be another place that you can build your visibility through speaking. The third place that you can show up is you can show up in a community. Maybe it's a small gathering or even hosting your own meetup, right? Small meetup group that you can do. That's also a way to build and grow quietly but strategically. So the bottom line is you don't have to announce it to the world until you are ready. And there's a mindset shift when you will be ready. If this is important to you, this is one thing that I always have in my dictionary, in my model, is that I believe that the best way to grow a coaching business is just to tell yourself that you're ready. We have number of reason to say we're not ready, but in reality, if you want this to be a full-time coaching business, you got to start somewhere. And if you keep telling yourself I'm not ready, then you'll never be ready. It's choosing the story that we want to believe in. One thing I teach is how to use your social media to build that trust, build that authority, and position yourself so that you are actually attracting the right people into your community. Whether you decided to keep your community inside a private message, or maybe it's WhatsApp or Telegram, doesn't matter. It's about inviting the right people into your community, no matter where you decide to host this visibility, right? Think of it as your headquarters. No matter where you decide your headquarters is going to be, you got to show up, and you wanted to make sure that the effort that you put in is actually getting the right people into the door, and that these are the people who are committed, who are ready to roll up their sleeve, they're ready to work with you. And the beauty about being on social is that many of the content that you share on social and everything that you create, if you can optimize it so that the search engine can pick up all the stuff that you're sharing, so using through those keywords, through these specific terminologies or language that's visible to those that you intentionally, who's intentionally looking for you, you want to optimize it in that way so that all the efforts, for example, your blog post, your video, they're actually doing the work for you and selling for you up front, so that by the time your audience come in, they're already sold and you don't have to do the selling yourself. And that's how you attract your dream client. This is why we need to be intentional and purposeful on social media, making sure that our message is correct, making sure that it's clear. So in order to do that, the first step that you need is always, I help blank with blank so they can blank, right? And so this is why you need that statement. That statement serves a reason. It's not just for your elevator pitch, it's also to indicate, hey, if you fit in that category, you fit in that description, this is what you want, then you want to join my community, whether it's in a private chat or maybe it's a WhatsApp community that you created, something small. It doesn't have to be out in the open. This is the reason why you need to have a niche, especially on the social media world, especially in online world, because there's so many things that's going on and it's grabbing our attention. So we're going to talk a lot more about this next week during the Visibility Challenge week. And again, if you like to go through the exercise that I have prepared for you, I'll be sending those exercises out during the challenge. So you definitely want to grab a seat at visibilityforcoaches.com so that you'll get all the resources I'm going to be sending out in your email. And if you have not already done so, be sure to drag my email, the registration confirmation email, into your inbox so you don't miss out any of the exercise worksheet that I'm going to be sending out to you next week. Okay, we're going to wrap up, and here's the action step I want you to consider taking and implementing if you do want to have 3 clients by Friday. I want you to pick one space where you feel safe and you're ready to show up more clearly about what you do. Okay, so pick one one space. Maybe it's starting a group chat here on Messenger, or maybe it's starting a group community on WhatsApp or Telegram. Pick one place, and I want you to start using, okay, social media account just for your coaching business. So if you need to start a second account just for dedicated for your coaching business, do that. And then the last thing that I would encourage you to do is consider start writing blog, putting out more content, putting out a video if you're more like leaning towards video. I know a lot of you introverted coaches out there, you might not feel comfortable about doing video, but that's okay. If that's the case, start a blog. I love reading. And I know a lot of introvert coaches love to read, and introverts, we generally just love to read. So if you're not feeling comfortable with the video, don't do the video. Video takes some practice, it takes some time to get comfortable, and that you can slowly, and you're welcome to put a video in here if you like to practice. I'll promise you I'm going to give you some constructive feedback so that you can share it out into the world. So leverage this community as your practice playground. Okay, so if you have a piece of content that you would like to share and you would like to get my feedback, go ahead and share that inside the community. I'll be more than happy to hop on and to either record a video for you or to reply and to give you some feedback. Just hashtag feedback, and I'll be more than happy to do that. All right, so just one space that you would like to dedicate to grow your coaching business, and that's all you have to do. At the end of the day, visibility is about making a choice, right? Choosing to keep hiding and dreaming about having a full-time coaching business, it's also a choice. You made a choice by continue to hide, or you can always choose by choosing to take action. And the good thing about action is action always give you information. How do you want to be better? What could be better? What needs to be changed? In order to get to that information, you need to take the initial steps. Okay, I will see you all next week. Visibility challenge. If you need my resource, be sure to grab a seat, visibilityforcoaches.com. And we start on Monday at 9 o'clock Pacific time. I keep these training videos short so that you have the rest of the day to work on the stuff I'm giving you. So if you want my resource, be sure to grab a seat. Let's get you seen, get you client, and get you paid on your own term. Now, how do I stop? How do I stop streaming? Okay, here we go.